Diamond horn. There's a man named Hu Dasheng. He's from Chudi. His mother has always practiced Buddhism. Taisei studied with the Juku, passed the Canon shrine on the way to the Juku. And his mother instructed him to always go in and call on the Canon at each passing. On this day, Taisei walks into the temple and sees a young girl leading a child inside. The hair of a girl covers her neck, but the wind is beautiful. Now I'm 14, and I have a crush on her. Asking her last name, the teenager said with a smile, "I'm Língjiǎo, the daughter of a Liaozhai painter. What can I do for you?" Taisei asked. "Do you have a mother-in-law?" The girl blushed and said, "No," Taisei said. "I'll be your husband." "Okay, I can't decide," the teenager said in embarrassment. His eyes are soft and he looks as if he agrees, looking furtively up and down. After Taisei left the shrine, the girl chased her over and told her, "Chui Lecheng is a friend of my father," and asked him to be a matchmaker. "It didn't fail," Taisei said. "Okay. I love her more when I think of Hishikagi's wisdom and affection. Back home, I told my mother I wanted to." The mother, who had only one son, was always afraid of disobeying his will, and rushed to ask Chui Lecheng to become a mediator. Father Zhao has a lot of brides, and the marriage is almost unfinished business. Chui Lecheng bragged that Taisei was a White King family with outstanding talent, which was accepted by Zhao Fu. Dasheng has an elderly uncle, no son, who works as a trainer in Hubei. After her aunt died there, her mother sent Taisei to Hubei to mourn. Months later, as Taisei was about to return, his uncle fell ill again and died soon after. Dasheng has been staying for a long time when bandits occupy Hunan. Cut off from information at home, wandered to the people, isolated and scared. On this day, a 48-year-old woman was milling around the village. The sun's not going west. She introduced herself. "I am separated from my loved ones, unable to go home, to sell myself." Asked about her price. She said, "I don't care if I'm a servant or a wife, but as long as I'm a mother, I'll let him." No price. Everyone around here laughed at her. Taiseng looked closer, and a woman looked like his mother at one or two of her eyes, touching her heart and feeling sad. He wanted to be alone, with no stitchers, and invited the woman home to treat her with his son's etiquette. The woman is happy, and she makes shoes for Taisei. She works like a mother if Taiseng goes against her will. He is blamed, but when Taiseng is a little bitter, his compassion trumps his son's. One day, the woman suddenly said to Taisei, "It's too peaceful here. Fortunately, there's nothing to worry about. However, you are old enough to live on the outskirts, but Lunchong Avenue is not a waste of time. And in 2 or 3 days' time you should marry someone else. My son has a daughter-in-law, but he can't be married in the north and south," said Osaki, tears shriveled. "In times of chaos, when everything is different, why wait like a rabbit?" Taisei cried again. "Never mind that the covenant is not to be broken. Who would marry me, a precious daughter who was floating around like a duckweed?" The woman didn't answer. She just helped with the curtains, mantles, quilts, pillows, and so on. She was well prepared and didn't know where she got them. One day, the sun had set, and the woman told Taisei, "Sit with a candle, don't sleep. I'll go and see if the bride is here." So I went out, after the 3rd degree. The woman hasn't returned yet. Taisei is very doubtful. After a while, I heard a noise outside the house. I looked out and saw a woman sitting in the courtyard, her hair disheveled and crying. Taisei asked, "Who are you?" She didn't answer either. It took me a while to say, "Marry me. There must be no good. I must die." I'm in shock. "I don't know why," the woman said. "When I was a teenager, I was hired by Hu Dasheng. But I didn't expect him to go to Hubei, and I couldn't believe it. My parents forced me to marry you. The body can be strong, but the ambition cannot be changed. I'm Hu Dasheng. Are you a diamond horn?" The woman stopped crying and was very surprised. "But I don't believe it's true." The 2 men drag each other into the house, peering into the light and saying, "Is this just a dream?" So I turned to Joy and told each other the pain of leaving. After the initial war, hundreds of miles in Hunan province were deserted and the dogs turned a deaf ear. The Zhao painters took the family to the east of Changsha and got an engagement. You can't be married in a war. We've arranged to send Ling Kok to Chao's house tonight. The horns were crying, refusing to apply makeup, and the family forced her into the car. Halfway through, the corner falls off the bus. So for people arrived with a saloon, claiming to be a relative of Zhou Jiangkin. They immediately carried the rhombic horn into the saloon, went like a fly, and stopped only after arriving here. A woman brings in the corner and says, "This is your husband's house. Just go in and don't cry. Your mother-in-law will be here tomorrow night." Say goodbye. Only when Osaki asks for the truth does he realize that a woman is a god. The couple burned incense and prayed together that the mother and son would be reunited. Since the war, Taisei's mother has rushed to Chen Valley with women from the same village. After a night of hiding, some people exclaimed that the bandits had arrived, and Osaki's mother went into hiding in panic with the crowd. A boy gives his horse to his mother, who is anxious to ask, and puts him on the horse on his shoulder. The horse ran at a brisk pace, and suddenly it was on the lake. The water was running and the waves were unstoppable. Soon after, the boy helped Oisei's mother down, pointed to a house and said, "It's habitable." After seeing the horse as a golden hyahu, the boy jumped up and went away. Dasheng's mother knocked on the door with her hands, and the door opened automatically. One man came out of the room asking, and Dasheng's strange voice was so familiar that, on closer inspection, it turned out to be Dasheng. Mother and son were crying from headaches. The horns were also shaken, and the family reunion was a great relief. Guess the woman is Guanyin. From now on, the Yin Guanyin scriptures are more religious. So the Dasheng family stayed in Hubei and bought a house and lived.
Alright, this story has come to an end. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.